This is the President McCormack Podcast with your host, Mark McCormack.
So you said you've been an entrepreneur since you were 16. What was your first entrepreneurial thing?
So I would say aesthetics for sure. Just, going and getting everybody's hair done and makeup done for like dances and school events and things like that. And then I just always knew I wanted to do something in the beauty industry. And I really truly love making sure that people know like how beautiful they are from the inside out.
Yeah.
And it isn't just about the outside. It's about like knowing that you're enough, that life is going to throw challenges at you and you just got to keep rising above and being the best version of yourself and getting back up. And self-worth is huge. And so many women, even at a young age, just didn't have it. So I've always just been like this creator of, self-worth, and you can do anything as long as you have the courage to do it. And so I would say a very young age, like 16. And then I got my license after I graduated early. I was just way too excited to grow up, way too fast. And that's definitely something I would tell young women, like, don't grow up too fast. Like, adulting is hard.
Yeah.
It's super
really
challenging.
Yeah.
So I would say like 18, I got my aesthetics license, and, I would do parties and, create connection. And I've always been about creating connection, and especially with women.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I love that, It's the thing that's interesting about the way you present to the world, right? Like the beauty in you and the, the aesthetics basically, right? It is a massive, well, what it really is it's a manifestation of how confident you are.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. 110%.
Yeah. Because I think it's important for people, all races, genders, whatever, right? To like get up and get ready every day.
Yeah.
Like take a shower, wash your face. If you want to put makeup on, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but like, feel good about yourself and go out into the world and present to the world who you are and build the relationships and, all that kind of stuff. It all comes with that.
Yes, absolutely. And self-care, right? Like knowing when to put yourself out there and get ready and feel nice and, go out into the world, but also know when to not and when to be a little bit more quiet and take a bath and self-reflect and be calm and ground yourself a little bit. Because it can be a little bit overwhelming to constantly just be putting yourself out there or having to even get ready every day on a daily basis, especially if you do feel like you need to wear like a ton of makeup. Yeah. So with Naked Pineapple, that's a huge part of why I started this company was I want you to feel good from the inside out, naked, with nothing on, no makeup, like no masks, no nothing. And you get to feel confident just by being you. And I feel like that gets a little bit confusing at times, especially with the social media world that we're in. It's like having the courage to just bear your beautiful skin the way that you are and be who you are and not be pushed to be something that you're not is the most beautiful, like courageous thing you could possibly do. Yeah,
absolutely. So first question about the business. Why Naked Pineapple? Why'd you name it that? You got part of it there.
Yeah, I absolutely love just something that's a little bit more unique, right? Like, I mean, the skincare world, the beauty industry is so saturated and nobody ever knows what to use or what's going to work, if you're going to get results that you want. So I wanted to create something that was clean, natural, derived ingredients. And I wanted it to make it so that when you don't have any makeup on and just you're bearing your beautiful naked skin, that you felt good about it. Yeah. So that's where like the naked comes from. Yeah. And then the pineapple has always been like Ryan and I's like code word,
Oh, really?
which is kind of fun and exciting. I would always be like, pineapple, babe, like, or like, you need to chill out. Like, come on. That's our code word for like, remember, we love each other. Yeah. So, and then the awesome thing about pineapples is the extracts, the natural enzymes in pineapple are so beneficial for our skin, internally and externally. So it's just a natural exfoliator. Yeah. So it's going to just slough away dead skin. The bromelain in the pineapple is going to help with anti-inflammatory, antibacterial purposes. So there's a lot of natural benefits to pineapple. Oh, cool. So, And we just were in Hawaii one year, like 4 years ago. And we were just like, this would be so fun to create like some kind of a company. And I'm an esthetician, right? I have been for years and years and years. So in order for me to make money, I get to be in a chair doing a service, which I've done it for 20 years. And I absolutely love it because I get to connect with people on such an intimate level. And I'm a counselor all day, essentially.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
And I really do love it because I've learned so much from my clients.
Yeah.
So over the course of 20 years of doing this, that's also where I've just gathered information of the kind of company that I wanted to create. And Naked Pineapple just fit. It just fit. Like it was just like I wanted it to be a little funky and stand out, but have there be purpose behind it.
Yeah, very cool.
So
the products that Naked Pineapple has, do you put pineapple in all of them or some of them or?
All of them.
In all of them? Mm-hmm. Is that the plan, is that no matter what product line you put out there, you're going to have pineapple as part of it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Absolutely. And I mean, you can control the ratio of how much we're putting in it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, even, everyone loves pineapple.
It's one of my favorite fruits,
Yeah, it's so good. And it literally is so good for your skin. Yeah. And it's good for your digestive system, which is also very beneficial for your skin. Like I always say, like your gut is your second brain, and you really want to make sure that you're taking care of your gut in regards to skincare too.
Yeah. So with the product line, what's the flagship product?
All of them. So we have 5 products right now. And I mean, they all go in sequence with each other. And I love them all. But the bronzer, I would say, is one that stands out.
Okay.
That I absolutely love. And it has a lot of very high quality ingredients in it that is anti-aging. It has like Botox in a bottle ingredients in it to where it just helps with fine lines and wrinkles. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of gives that sun-kissed glow without wearing makeup. So that's a good one.
Is that a daily? Would you put it on daily?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it also pulls the natural melanin of your skin. So it's not like a tanner. It's just like a bronzer you put on, wash off type of a thing. I mean, even men can use it.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, we could get a little bit of a sun-kissed glow.
Yeah, a little bit of glow.
Although I don't know, you travel the world. You're just like a world traveler. You just chase the sun.
I have traveled more than I thought I would.
Really?
Yeah.
I love traveling.
Yeah, I love it too. I don't know. Yeah, it was just like, I was Dave Ramsey's best student through my 20s, right? Like no debt, like invested, went crazy, didn't do anything fun. And then when I started having kids in my late 20s, early 30s, I realized it's like, I don't want to be Scrooge McDuck at the end and just have a pile of money and no memories.
Yeah, and old and not even be willing to appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe it's dumb, right? So then we started... My wife and I were very heavy on budgeting, right? So then we started budgeting and vacations and different things like that. And then, and now I've always got like 3 or 4 planned.
Good.
So, like we're going so for Thanksgiving this year, we're going to go to New York and just take the kids with us and show them all. Manhattan's our favorite city. So we're just going to go to plays and eat food. And
I love Broadway.
Oh, I love Broadway.
I do think traveling is an opportunity for self-discovery too. Mm-hmm. Like it's a part of getting to know who you are and what you like and what you enjoy. And then the opportunity to share that with your kids is really cool. I mean, I didn't go anywhere until I was 30,
really?
Like I think travel is such a huge part of humanity now where it didn't used to be as much. And we are huge promoters with Naked Pineapple in regards to travel. Because it's like an adventurous, like love the skin you're in, be adventurous, like live life, like feel confident. Because if you don't feel confident and you are just not putting yourself out there, then I do think people become kind of a shell of a human and you don't really get to travel and see the world. And you just get stuck in this mundane routine of life that is just, you're not really living.
Yeah, no, you're not very well rounded. There's so many things you learn from traveling.
So much.
Especially the people you're with. Like you learn about who they are and who you are. And I mean, there's always a little bit of stress and there's always a little bit of this and nothing ever goes 100% right. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of dealing with different things and learning not to be upset about anything. And how do you learn that in like a history class? You know, like, did you enjoy history when you were a kid? I honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember if I enjoyed it or not, if I'm being real honest. I love it now.
Me too.
So I was about to say no, then I was like, maybe I did. Then I love it now. I really don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but until you see it, and experience it, and you feel the energy of places outside of Utah too. Because I feel like we kind of live in a bubble here.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I get like homesick when I'm not here because it is so beautiful here and it's a great place to raise kids.
Yeah.
But when you travel and you see outside of Utah, it is like mind blowing for the first time.
Oh, for sure.
And I love it. I think there's so much to learn from travel. And I think like it's a great opportunity. I would love my kids to do like a travel abroad type of program.
It's so we homeschool. I'm not sure if you know that.
Oh,
or
you
not.
do?
So a lot of the trips that we take our kids on, they study about the place for like 3 or 4 months before we actually go.
Cool.
So like we did like North and South Carolina a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It was super fun. Super fun. Because we went to like the Biltmore. We stayed up in the mountains, the Smoky Mountains. You know, we went to the coast, went to NASCAR, you know, the Hall of Fame of NASCAR, like all this kind of like, it's almost like for a Utah, you wouldn't really go there, right? Because we have mountains here, we have this, you know, we don't have a beach here, or we don't have an ocean here, that kind of stuff. But like, it was fun to like watch the kids just like apply what they've learned. And it's the same thing. So we just went to Greece, so the last trip we were on. My kids are mythological nutcases. They love it.
Oh, I would love to go to Greece just for that reason as well.
Oh, it's crazy. Like going up to the Pantheon and like looking at all the different buildings and like they're so old, right? Like with Zeus's temple, I think there was 6 out of like 19 pillars that are still standing.
Oh,
and there's one that fell down, right? It's there. And I was talking to the guide, right? And I was like, hey, what year did this thing fall down? And he's like, 1880.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Like,
I thought you were going to say like 3 years ago, you know?
Yeah. Well, and knowing that something existed that long ago, like we're just these little babies. And I'm like, oh yeah, I was an Atlantean. I totally lived underwater or, you know, you go to those kinds of places and you can relate, but not. Because with Utah, you're just like, the grocery stores are like younger than most places on the East Coast. So
no, that's very true. I did a LDS mission to Scotland, right? And so the first house I lived in was built in the 1600s.
Wow.
I mean, you know, they renovate it and all that kind of stuff, right? But like, it's crazy to see like the bones of that place, you know, then you see castles and you see like Stirling Castle, really cool one in the middle of the country, right? There's a cobblestone road that the Romans built before Christ that goes up to this thing.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
You don't get that in Utah.
No, and I feel like we don't keep things either. Like Ryan and I just went to Cape Cod and we stayed in a house that was built in the 1600s.
Oh, cool.
And it was spectacular. Like we'd go to bed and I'd be like, good night, husband from the 1600s. Like, and you know what else is so interesting? Like you and I are both so tall. Yeah. People didn't used to be very tall back in the day. No, did you notice that in Scotland too?
Yeah, I hit my head weekly.
I bet. Oh my
Not to mention me walking around this room and smacking the chandelier. But
yes, like it's so fascinating to just, I mean, we would have been giants back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, so my dad's actually Scottish, right?
Oh, really?
So he is, I think he's 6'1", and he's a mountain of a man for the Scottish people, right? They're probably 5'7" or 8". That's probably the average size male over there. And so, you know, I walk around at 6'7", right? And so it's just, I just intimidated everyone that I ever met, really, until they got to know me a little bit. But like, it was wild. When I was in Africa with Ryan, right, recently, it's funny because people stare at me all the time. Right?
You just get used to it.
Yeah, I don't even notice it. So Josh, one of our friends, was just like, "Dude, you notice people staring at you all the time?" And I'm like, "Mm-mm." Like, I just don't pay attention.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we went to Japan, and it was like they would wait for me outside of the bathroom to like take pictures. It's so funny.
Did they touch you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like brush. Yeah, my sister, who is a porcelain blonde doll, right?
Okay.
She served a mission in the Philippines, and just everywhere she goes, she would just constantly feel people touching her hair because they don't see blonde hair like that.
Yeah.
You know, her natural blonde is like as blonde as it gets.
Oh, that's
and so she's like,
pretty.
it was kind of weird for a little while. Then I just got used to it because people just, you know, lightly touch you everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah. Well, that's kind of normal in other places besides America, I think, too.
Just taking a swipe of someone, just like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Funny. So you are going to New York as your next destination?
Yeah, New York. Gosh, I don't know if we have a lot of places coming up.
I know. We are just like, okay, we need to launch Naked Pineapple and then we need to put something on the books.
Yeah.
Because I am jonesing. I want to go to Switzerland.
Oh, that's on my list.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, yeah, we got to go in the winter.
Okay.
You want to go in you don't have to go in the winter. It's beautiful in the summer
it's
too,
like
right?
nostalgic, like winter.
Yeah. But you can do like the glass encased trains, right? So you're like going up through like it's the Alps, right, in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I remember.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, you just sit in these, they're like 4 or 5 hour long train rides, right? Where you're just sipping hot chocolate or whatever.
And you
right?
can go anywhere.
You just see all the beautiful, oh yeah.
Like let's hit Austria, Switzerland.
Lake Como.
Yes.
Lake Como.
That would be
That's actually my number one spot that I want to see.
That's Ryan's too.
Really?
Yeah. Lake Como?
Oh, geez. We will have to coordinate. Yeah.
Yeah. That's his number one. Like we went to Italy for our honeymoon and we didn't quite go north. We did more south.
Yeah.
Which was great. It was beautiful, but we definitely want to hit more of like the northern part of Italy.
Oh, cool. Well, we should go on the bougiest tour, or not bougiest tour of all time. We'll go to Monaco, Lake Como, and then go up to like Switzerland.
Done.
It'd be fun.
Let's do this. It can be like the Naked Pineapple celebration.
Yeah, we can
for
do it,
our launch.
Yeah. So let me ask you, honest reaction. How's Scallywag been?
It's been good. It's been really good. It's been, I mean, I've never really done anything like this before, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. One thing that I do feel like we've been needing is a woman. Like and they admitted that too. They were just like, I do feel like we need like to bring a woman in for like different reasons. You know what I mean?
Is that for like scripting or something like that? Like
no,
more
like creativeness or like photo shoots or just those types of reasons. Because Scallywag has been amazing for like the documentation side of things. Like he's almost like a journalist. Yeah. So he like makes you feel safe and connected, and
now, who are you working with over there?
A huge part. Scott.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I love Scott.
Yeah. He's deep. He like catches the emotion, because there's a lot of emotion behind Naked Pineapple. As I'm already like starting to like get emotional, but it's just one of those things where that's what I want to capture. You know, this isn't just a skincare line. Like it's a community. It's an opportunity to be a part of something bigger than you.
Yeah.
I want to do a lot of like nonprofit. We have a nonprofit that's going to be there actually at the launch party. That's Utah Women in Trade. And it's a nonprofit where they really assist women who maybe have been in like abusive situations, or they've come straight out of prison, or they've just been like misfortunate. And they allow them to get certifications for certain trades, like in construction or electrical or plumbing or welding, whatever it is. But it just allows them to be independent and self-sufficient and support their family. So
nice.
Those are the kind of things that I really, really want. I'm a total humanitarian at heart, and that's the goal. You know, that's the bigger picture. Is
that's the best thing, right? Is I think what a lot of people miss in this world is you actually have to make some good money before you can be a humanitarian.
Oh, it's expensive to be a humanitarian. It's expensive. Like I'm like I want to go and do like things in Africa where, you know, you help like the medical side of things, or, you know, the dentists that go there all the time, but it costs money.
Costs a lot
of money.
Especially when you're giving it to other people, right? You know, because, you know, like the smile thing, right? Where they go fix cleft palates and like all those different things, right? It takes a lot of money. That's why they have these charities and they raise money and they do all this stuff. And it's like, it's very good, but you have to have the money to do it. Yeah.
And traveling in and of itself, and taking time off of, you know, your career that allows you to make the money that you're making, and creating a team. And I would say like, that's the hardest part, right? Is finding an organization that fits into your lifestyle that you can actually go and do something with. So I would love to have more opportunities for Naked Pineapple to do a lot more. Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of it just comes down to building relationships with other people.
Yeah.
You know, and then those people go, hey, you want to do this? You want to do this? Yeah.
And
it's really a good community when you do that, you know? And if you can build a community around your brand and the products that you sell, I mean, you're like golden, right? Like that's everyone's ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Are you going to do many, well, real quick, are you going to, is the launch public?
Yeah.
What day and where is it going to be at?
So it's November 23rd, Saturday at Sunday's Best at 7 p.m.
The one in Sandy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Yeah, we love it there. But you're going to be gone, huh?
I literally leave at like noon or something like that day.
Dang it. Well, I'll just call your wife and we'll change the flight to make sure that you're there. Maybe we can get you like a, you know, red-eye flight to New York.
You know, I'll actually take a look at that. That's actually not bad. Let me look at my calendar. I can't commit on here. But no, I'm absolutely upset that I'm going to miss that because that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be fun. And we're going to just, do like a champagne toast and we're going to have a fun like pop-up retail store, some nonprofits, samples, educating, DJ, food, drinks.
Yeah.
It's always a good time at Sunday's Best.
Yeah, this will be fun. Yeah. I'll get Michael promoted. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I know. I was so happy to see that their airport branch opened.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be able to stop in there. We were flying home from Vegas, and so we just stopped in. And actually, we're hanging out. I don't know if you saw it, but we're hanging out with Michael all the weekend in Vegas.
Oh, yay.
So, yeah, he flew home Monday night so he could be there at like, I don't know what time he went there, like 4:30 in the morning or something like that.
Wow.
And they're supposed to launch at 10:30 in the morning, but, all the pageantry and everything, they launched at like 11:30, something like that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Everyone always thinks him and Ryan look alike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're always like McHenry's always like, yeah, people come up to me and like, Rye Fry. So funny. And then his wife is named Kristi.
Yeah.
So he's always like, we got these hot wives named Kristi and we just look alike and we're going to conquer the world, bro.
Dude, his energy is one of my absolute favorites, top two.
Oh, yeah.
It's just fun, right? It's fun to be in those worlds, especially, when you're running a business, it's stressful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of decisions to be made. There's always money issues, right? There's just, and not like you don't have money, but, there's like, who do we pay this thing, blah, blah, blah. They build us wrong. There's just all this shiz that happens.
Multitasking.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
And so to be able to maintain that type of attitude inside business, I always think is really admirable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And quite frankly, I actually think women do it a lot better than men.
Yeah.
I think men get really grumpy sometimes.
Well, it's like scientifically proven.
Is it? Okay, good. I'm right.
Women are great multitaskers for sure. I mean, even back in the day when, men had to go to war and women started working and they realized like the operations side of things, women were really, really good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the workforce.
Geez, we've been equal for a long time.
Hey, we're trying.
No, absolutely. It's such an interesting thing. I love what you brought up earlier about putting a woman on Scallywag's team because it absolutely does need that. You really do need both sexes to just for diversity of thought.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the way that women and men operate, I mean, you have to have both. I mean, that's why we're, evolving as humans, right? We get to live in a world where we get to thrive and feed off of each other and piss each other off and challenge each other and create and exist. And I mean, hopefully we learn and forgive. Did you say forgive?
Yeah, forgive, yeah. No, it's this thing that
absolutely.
I'm telling you, one of the most important things that any human can do is just constantly forgive people. Because if not, you become grumpy. I'll just use grumpy again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like, yeah, I mean, and when you forgive someone, it doesn't mean that you have to take their shit back on. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're like, no, let's release each other of this liability. You go your separate way. I'll go my separate way. Everything's good.
Forgiving is a superpower. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that a lot of people forget to forgive and give each other grace, right? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes we can be our worst critics, but other times we can be the most lenient on ourselves too while we're pointing the finger everywhere else.
Yeah.
So do you think forgiveness is a practice?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably
more than anything else. Yeah, you do have to practice it. I think it's actually really important too, not to get on the forgiveness topic, but when people try and be good for a long time in their life and then they do something really bad, right? Depending on what that is. Mm-hmm. If you're someone who easily forgives other people, you will easily forgive yourself. But if you're someone who doesn't forgive other people and holds grudges and just kind of a little curmudgeon, right? Like when you actually need that forgiveness from yourself, I think it's exponentially harder to get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that some people can forgive a lot easier than others, right? Mm-hmm. Like I sometimes feel like I'm almost like too kind to a fault. And I know when to stand up for myself, mm-hmm. and I know when to give myself grace. Yeah. And I know that I get to put myself in check when I get to do that for others too, right? Like even in parenting, oh my goodness, mm-hmm. right? Like parenting is one of the greatest constant forgivers, and owning your shit. Yeah. Being able to be accountable and learn from your mistakes and grow and forgive is all a part of being a human. Yeah. And even in business, right? Like if we're not failing, we're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
We're not taking enough risks. Like, we're not having the courage to push ourselves to be greater. And that's all a part of, I think, being a forgiving human.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean reckless, right? Like, you don't be reckless and just be like, oh, well, I forgive. But it's one of those things where I think forgiveness comes in many different forms too, you know? And I think self-care and forgiveness go hand in hand, because I think you have to find the balance of taking care of yourself and putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, and taking care of your family and your friends and your career, and all of it can be really challenging in regards to just being a very successful human.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like what you said. Is it a practice? It's absolutely a practice. And I think if people don't know when they should forgive or not, you should forgive when you want peace.
Absolutely.
You know, so do you have peace in your life with this thing? Then forgive it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, I've been through some really hard challenges in life, right? Where forgiveness has been really challenging. And it's an opportunity too, to really challenge yourself. Like, if I can forgive this, then, I mean, how am I not going to have peace, right?
Yeah.
And peace comes in a way where if I don't have peace, how am I supposed to be broadcasting to the world, right? To like take care of yourself, and take care of yourself for your kids, for your husbands, for your wives, for the people that you work with. I mean, if you go around being a grumpy human being, there's clearly something that you haven't forgiven in yourself. So I do love that.
Absolutely.
I kind of manifested the forgiveness thing today. Like, I was even asking myself, like, who am I, you know, and why am I here? What brought me to you? Like, what about Mark McCormick do I get to come and talk about? Because I know it's not just skincare.
No, absolutely. So Ryan and I were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. It just felt right.
Yeah.
So
good.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you're a very inspiring human being. So
thank you.
What made you do what you do? Like, you're an entrepreneur. What inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
Gosh, that's interesting. I got into law school when I was 26. And my dad asked me if I would forego law school for a couple of years and help him run the family business, which I had been working in since I was 8.
Wow.
Right? So, after a little bit of thought, I was like, yeah, I'll do it, Dad. And there's a couple of things I want, in return. Right. And, I made this list, and to his credit, we went through all of them. I think there might've been one left on the list, but you know, I was only 26. So
yeah.
But then, so part of that is that I get to do entrepreneurial things on the side. And then, there is one thing on the list we never did. It's me getting an MBA.
Oh, wow.
So the company was going to pay for me to get an MBA. That was one of the agreements, right? But I wanted to do an executive MBA, so it was going to be about 6 or 7, 8 years later. And by the time I got there, I was like, yeah, I'd rather keep this money than actually go get an MBA. so schooling kind of ended for me then. But so I just got involved in all sorts of different things, and I tried things, and I failed at things, and I had successes, and everything else in the middle. You know, walk away businesses at the end where we tried hard, but we never made money, so let's just cut our losses, kind of thing. And I got married really young. Best decision I ever made for me. You know, I married the perfect person for me, and we've had babies together, which has been great. And
I love babies.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, me in a nutshell, it's kind of interesting. I'm just a guy who just loves his wife to death. You know, like that's really what I want to be known for, and then everything else is just secondary.
Oh my gosh, how cute are you? You can hang out with Ryan more and more, okay?
Good, I will.
You make sure and rub off on him.
I actually attract that. If you want to know the truth, I really do. I've really leaned into that the last year of my life, where I'm just like, I don't want anyone in my world that doesn't love their wife. And doesn't mean I'm going to exclude people, and like people are going to, if some of my friends who don't have wives, I'm not talking about you, but you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, are you really happy if you don't love your wife?
No, they're miserable people, and they make horrible decisions, and they're bad in business. It's just bad.
It's so true. And I mean, we live in a world where that can get really confusing, I think, right? Like, what is love? Like, what does that look like? Like, what does loving your wife look like?
I think it's respect.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I go straight to respect almost every single time, because you can't love someone you don't respect.
Yeah.
You can't respect yourself unless you love yourself. You
Right.
know? And not to get like super philosophical, but like it's a thing.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
It's of course a thing.
Yeah.
And I think respect can be misconstrued too, where it's like, I mean, I respect myself enough to know when I get to make sure that you're being respectful as well.
Yeah.
And something that I always like even challenge my husband is I'm like, are you respecting yourself enough to take care of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And self-respect is huge.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. Like you do have to have self-respect in order to respect the person that you love.
Yeah.
Or else I don't think love could really exist.
No, it doesn't. And humans are really good at convincing themselves of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think I've seen this play out a few times where respect was very low, but lust was high.
Yeah.
And that was perceived as love.
And it's a driving force at
Yeah.
first.
And love is a very interesting word. It's wildly overused. Right? I love this Starbucks. I love my wife. I love that I'm in the car by myself and I don't have to talk to anybody.
Yeah, it's an intense word.
Yeah, and it's almost like got so many meanings and so many levels to it, and it's like, well, what do you really mean when you say love?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But what is not that way is respect. Like you know if someone respects you, right?
Yeah.
Because you definitely know when they disrespect you, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna, you know, there's action involved in that. But you know, the number one reason why people get divorced is financial, right? The second one is infidelity. Okay, they're really all tied around respect to me. Like, if you and a spouse can't sit down and be like, hey, this is how much money comes in, this is where we need to put it, right? This is what I want left over to invest or whatever, right? And then you keep on breaking that over and over. You're just telling the person you don't respect them,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously infidelity is kind of high up there on the non-respect thing. But you know.
Yeah. And you have to know what each other's values are too and
Mm-hmm.
what that looks like. Because I think sometimes just communication is a misunderstanding. Right?
Oh, yeah.
In
Yeah.
regards to respect.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, let me know how I can make sure that you feel safe in the financial department
Mm-hmm.
and make sure you feel respected. And because I always love to, you know, create abundance.
Yeah.
I am an abundant creator and I love that about myself. And you have to trust that too, right? And I also think that there's like an impulse behavior when there is like financial disrespect, right? Like there's this financial opportunity for us to create goals, like travel for you and your wife, right? Like that's a way for you guys to connect, to create memories. Like you're saying, like I both agree that we want to spend our money now rather than like putting it away for us to be like old and grumpy and cranky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And I also think it's too like, so on the men's side of things with respect on the financial thing, when your wife wants something, you should build it into your budget if it's reasonable. You know what I mean? Just because you don't, one of my point is just because you don't think it's something that she needs, you should put it in there anyways. Because I see that with people where they're like, well, my wife wants to travel and I don't want to. She's going to hate you eventually, bro.
Yeah.
Why did you marry her if she wants to travel and you don't? Those are like fundamental differences, you know?
Yeah.
But then, you know, when those men, when they really sit back and they go, okay, hold on, do you love and respect your wife? Okay, then let's get her opinion and start moving into more of a partnership more than you're the authority figure in the house, right?
Yeah, and that's what partnership is all about.
Yep.
Like partnership is about challenging the other person to be the better version of themselves.
Yeah.
And to maybe go outside of their comfort zone, to learn something from you that maybe they don't know, you know? And again, like with that daily practice, like I love that because I think gratitude comes with respect.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge factor in just creating that energy that you want, that you put out, right? Is gratitude.
I think the next level of respect is actually gratitude, right? Because you can admire someone and that pulls out a little bit of respect, right? And then, you know, you see them interact with other people and you learn to love them a little bit and that respect starts building, right? And then you kind of get it to a level where you can't really get it to the next plateau. And the next plateau is gratefulness.
Yeah.
It's like, then you become grateful for that person. And that's, you know, talk about my wife, I always do. So like, I actually am so grateful for her. I mean, she takes care of our home. She takes care of me. She takes care of her. She takes care of our kids. We homeschool. Like my level of trust with her, like if I ask her to do something or she says she'll do something more like, she'll just do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't question her. It's wild, right? But it's because I'm actually grateful for her and I treat her that way.
I appreciate.
Yeah.
And you see that. And that's something that's huge too, right? Like in relationships, because I mean, we're humans. Like we have our faults and our failures. And there's certain things, like even with Ryan, where I'm like, honey, oh my gosh, like I'm so grateful that I know who you are on such a deep level, because if not, this would probably drive somebody crazy.
Yeah, I may have to fry and pan you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Like even the most endearing things, right? Like the dishwasher will be dirty and he will literally clean with water and organize all the dishes in the sink and put them in nice little piles rather than putting them in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
So I'll come and I'll just be like, oh, you're so cute. I love this about you, because it's what makes him him.
Yeah.
Or I leave piles of clothes freaking everywhere. I am the worst about my clothes. I'm a clean freak on a surface level, but my clothes are everywhere and it drives him crazy. And so those are fun things that you just are endearing and you respect and love. And I don't know, those are what make us like partners.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you a weird question maybe. What is some really good marriage advice that you never hear other people give? So a rare marriage advice moment.
I would say consistency. I would say to stay consistent no matter the ups and downs or the trials or errors, and have the ability to like remember what you fell in love with in the first place.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Where have you seen in your own life, what's the thing that you're most consistent with?
I would say my health.
Yeah.
Yeah, my health is impeccable. I mean, I think it's normal. And, you know, of course, Ryan and all my kids and friends are just like, oh, she's, you know, eating a kale salad, or, oh, she's texting me at 6 a.m. And it's just been a part of my routine for so long. Yeah. Just consistency in my health, because that's where I've succeeded. Yeah. You know, I've had consistency in what time I wake up, to what I eat, to exercise, to my like spiritual practice, to meditation, to yoga. Yeah. So, I mean, I would go crazy if I didn't have that.
You basically described my wife, which is really funny. Right? So she's very into fitness, and she always has been. She's actually she's won a couple fitness competitions.
Cool, good for her.
Yeah, she's gone kind of all in. So when you say that, we've actually been talking about this recently, where part of respecting yourself and loving yourself is taking care of the body that you're in.
Yes.
Right? To the point that you are the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Right. And, you know, sometimes you'll throw like, well, you don't need abs, you don't need this, you know, like you kind of want to make everyone feel good. But really at the end of the day, listen.
I want abs.
Yeah. If your body fat percentage is too high, you're unhealthy. It just is what it is.
It's true.
And so if you really want to respect yourself, yes, you have to get down to where your body is very athletically healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I do think like some people I know may have a harder time with that than others. Yeah. Right. And something for me, I'm so grateful again, right? I'm so grateful that I've had the desire to want to be consistent with my health. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course I still struggle. I mean, from the time we're young girls, we're just constantly a little bit hard on ourselves, and we're our worst critics and things like that. And I think that that's more of the spiritual mental practice. Yeah. More than anything else, is why that kind of goes hand in hand, where it's not just physical. Because if I'm just working my physical body and I'm not taking care of myself like spiritually and mentally, the physical body will never be enough. Yeah. So
no, that's a big thing. I've meditated every day of my life that I can remember, and it's not like what most people think. Right? Most people think you got to light incense and turn the lights down, all that kind of stuff. To me, and I did too for a long time. But what I actually do every day is I get in the shower and I sit there for like 10, 15 minutes, mostly 10. And I just organize my day. And then I kind of do like a self-checkup. And then I kind of just think about whatever comes in my mind for those couple of minutes. And it's quiet, but the shower's on or whatever else, you're going to have that like nice little hum going on. And I've just always done that. Mm-hmm. And so then when I joined We Are the They, right, like it's kind of funny. I got this little complex at the start of We Are the They, where everyone was like cold plunging and reading and journaling. And I was like, I don't do any of this shit. You know what I mean? I do 30 minutes of meditation every day. No one stops me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I started like kind of like building a morning routine, right? Yeah. And then after a while, I was like, this is so freaking stupid. I have done so many things right in my life. Why do I need to introduce this?
Yeah, like don't compare yourself. Like you boo.
I'm feeling less than on something that's inconsequential.
Yeah.
And so As I was doing that though, I got into the meditation a little heavier where I was like, I'm going to clear my mind now and I'm going to do nothing but focus on me.
Yeah.
And that's the pivot I did on it. And that's what I just do every single day. So when I talk to people, I'm like, listen, you need to take time to be quiet and find peace, right? And you can pray if you want. You can do meditation if you want.
Don't look
I don't
at your
see
phone.
a difference.
Yeah.
Get all that out of the way. Yeah. And if you're someone that just because there's a lot of chaos in minds, right? Especially, if you're carrying some shame or some guilt, or you're carrying pressure or like whatever, right? Or societal pressures, anything like that. And really just to calm your nervous system down is really good for you. So calm it all down. You know what I mean? Get clean, present yourself nice, go to the gym, like do all these kind of things that just make your body feel better and look better. But absolutely, the spiritual, mental side of it is 50-50, really.
Yeah, and I believe that's what I really am wanting to create with Naked Pineapple even. Is it's a spiritual routine that you look forward to doing. Like it's something that is part of your meditative, spiritual, physical practice that just fits and that you look forward to doing. Because I also think, like you're saying, like I tried to do what everybody else was doing and it wasn't working for me. Like I do think that you have to find like your niche, right? And it might look different from chapter to chapter of your life. But I was just talking to my friend Corey about this, I was just like, I have to have my time in the morning. Like I wake up every day super early and I don't like to just like wake up and hurry and go to the gym. Like I have to have the opportunity to just like ground myself, really get clear on, my goals and my intentions for the day and have my coffee and like be grateful for my space, my home. Because I think if you don't give yourself time to even have gratitude, like you're going to miss it. Like you're going to miss life. You're going to miss the things that you have to be grateful for. I've even been practicing that with my daughter, Journey. Right. Like, she's 13 and she just wants. And she just doesn't ever really feel fulfilled. Right. So I was like, you know what? We're going to start doing like a gratitude journal every single day. Like, let's do what we're grateful for every day. And it can just be simple. And it doesn't have to be me. Like, you don't have to say you're grateful for me. I don't have to say you're grateful for you. But it could be simple. Even, the leaves changing or the brisk fall air or dad or my puppies or my boyfriend or whatever it is. And that seems to it pulls you out of that funk too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're depressed, the most important thing is to get your butt up and move.
Yeah.
Right. It is. Just get out of the house. Stop doing, walk around, move around.
Yeah, that's what was so horrible with COVID. Like COVID was so hard for so many people. I also think though COVID kind of pushed people to create some sort of routine that maybe they weren't used to doing or, get out of like the work, like just get up, go to work. Like it's like, okay, I get to like actually have self-reflection. Like what is that?
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty rare. Did you see that little mini documentary that Jimmy released on me yesterday?
No,
you see that yet? Okay.
I get to watch it.
I got reposted a few times. I just wanted, but so he does member highlights, right? And so now that I'm almost through this thing, I think he's done like.
You're almost graduated?
In December, I'm done.
Oh my gosh! See, we need to go somewhere. Where are we gonna go?
See, December, I'm going to Arizona. Costa Rica's like February.
Yeah. See,
but we should go somewhere. Yeah. We'll bring Ryan with us.
Okay, I guess we'll bring your wife too.
Yeah. She'll be fun.
I can't wait to hang out with her.
Yeah, she's great. But the reason why I bring up that documentary is because when they interviewed me, they're basically like, what's the biggest impact that Watt had on you? And that's an interesting question for me. It's friendships is the number one, right? Like that's the most valuable thing I took from Watt is the friendships. Number two is gratitude. And it's funny because I don't think Jimmy intended this. I don't know what he'd actually say. Maybe he did. Our first module is gratitude for 3 months, right? I viewed myself as a grateful person. Right?
Yeah.
Because I do. I say thank you a lot. I'm very polite, and I recognize effort in people. When someone gives you like a handmade gift, right? Like I recognize there's thought, there was process, there was finished work,
you
there
were
was
thought
giving
of.
it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's expensive or not. So I always felt like I was at some level of gratitude, and then we started having to send 10 things to your accountability partner every day. That you're grateful for. And you're not supposed to repeat, right? So, dude, after like 20 days of that, you're like run out of crap, right? Like my truck, my car, my pen that I always use. You know what I mean? It's
you
like
have to get real deep.
Stuff. Oh yeah, you go right into people, right? And then you go from people to experiences. And that's that's as far as I got, on that little exercise. And it was so impactful and it hooked me into the program big time. I finish what I start. Very rare I don't finish what I start. Something has to blow up or I have to be defrauded, basically, right? To not finish it. And so outside of that commitment, that hook of gratitude at the beginning was like, okay, I don't care what else happens in this. This was worth it. And I got it in the first 3 months.
I love that.
And I have seen it in every single part of my life. The more grateful I am, the better relationships I have. That's it.
That's what my spa is called. Gratitude Life Spa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
We are in South Jordan.
Oh,
yeah.
That's cool. What services do you guys have there?
I do facials, eyebrows, counseling, life coaching, waxing. I do plasma pen. I do more like medical grade services.
Oh, cool.
Medical chemical pills.
Yeah.
I do all kinds of stuff. So
nice. Okay, I didn't know that. Freaking Ryan.
I know. That's how we met. He's my client.
Oh, he came in there? Oh, okay, cool.
So I was in Draper many moons ago, back when I was like 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And he came into my salon and I was just, working, just kind of going in off commission. And his hairstylist was like, okay, you need your eyebrows done. Like, you need some help in that department. Let me get my girl, Kristi.
Yeah.
So, and it was just, we always had like a really cool friendship, really good energy. I mean, of course, Ryan is, you're attracted to him right off the bat. He's just somebody that exudes excitement.
You know what's so funny about me and Ryan? Someone was talking to me the other day. They go, "You're friends with Ryan, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good friends with Ryan." They're like, "When did you become friends with Ryan?" And I was like, "I don't know." They're like, "Well, when did you meet him?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually remember him not being. Well, I can go back 20 years. I don't remember him being in my life, right? But I'm like, I don't know when I met Ryan. We're like good buddies. I don't know. I just love Ryan. He's fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was thinking about that and I was like, that is such an amazing quality of his that from the moment I met him, he was just part of my world.
Yeah. And he makes you feel special. Yeah. Yeah. He's really good at connection.
Yeah.
And friendships. And he's a really good dad.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, I had so much fun with him in Africa.
Yeah. Good.
But his temperament and my temperament are really close, right? It's just, we're just here to have fun. I don't care what happens. You know what I mean? Like,
did you jump off did you do the bungee?
I did not do the bungee.
Your back or something, right?
I have a bad back.
Yeah.
I looked at that and I looked at Jimmy. I was like, I'm not doing this.
I don't blame you. Oh my gosh. Do you remember the 49th Street Galleria?
I do. You trying to make me seem old?
I know. Are we old?
Yeah.
It was really cool back then.
The best. We did our senior night there.
Oh, I think, where did you go to high school?
Lone Peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went to Murray.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what's cool about meeting people. And the older you get, right? Like you just attract the people that you want into your life and the energy that you want into your life. And I was so grateful for me too, like coming here today. I was like not nervous or
good.
I was excited to just, get to know you. Honestly, I was like, oh, cool. I get to sit down with somebody that I value and respect. Yeah. And so I'm really happy that I'm here.
Cool. Thank you very much. Let me ask you this. What is a question you want to ask me that you think you shouldn't? If there is one.
Oh, I don't know. I'm a little bit of a ballsy person. I can probably ask you anything. What would you say has been your biggest regret in life?
Biggest regret in life. I mean, I've done a couple mistakes in my life I'd like to take back. That I wouldn't air on TV or whatever this is.
Yeah.
But, that's a good question because I want to give a good answer on that. What do I regret the most of? I regret wasting my time. That's actually probably the most accurate answer. Even some of the more on things I shouldn't have done. I guess I'll put it that way, right? Mm-hmm. It's the time that I've wasted, right? So because every time I wasted time, it was generally I could have allocated that to like either my kids or my wife. I have a guilt in me that is okay. I'm fine with it, but I don't remember my two oldest kids as small toddlers because I worked a lot.
Yeah,
like a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's common.
Yeah. And they don't know. My wife drives me nuts that I even say this because she's like, you were around, you went to everything. And I'm like, I know, but I worked 16-hour days.
Like you didn't feel present.
16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, but I look back and I'm like, there was failed startups in there. There was all sorts of stuff I was trying to do. And it's hard because you can go either way, right? That's why I got all this education and it was this amazing thing. And it's like, it was still time away from your kids that you don't, and it's like, would you trade that time for your kids now? Well, duh. Mm-hmm. So then it's like a complicated mess, right? But like, yeah, so to just make this answer wildly long, it is just the time I've wasted.
Yeah. And what do you feel like you've learned now that you do different today?
I'm very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm very efficient.
Good.
Like stupid efficient.
I love that.
Because people there's a lot of people that get to know me, right? Like I run 4 portfolio companies of my own, right? And then I'm a partner to an investment fund, right? So there's a lot of opportunity around me all the time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm just super efficient. I don't waste time. Like when I'm at work, I'm just a machine. I've laid my day out. I do things a certain way. Almost everything I do has a process around it, even if it's only a 3-step process, right? So once I do something and it goes into the process and I delegate it away. So then
So you've learned to be intentional?
Yeah, super intentional, right? So like right now, right? Like my, if my email was working, I'd probably get 20 while I'm in here, right? I don't look at it. I won't look at my phone until probably 6:30 tonight after I'm done doing everything. And the reason why I do that is because I want to be present with whatever I'm doing, right? So then my next meeting, I want to be very present. And then, so in the car, I never listen to music. I'm always making phone calls and catching up with people or Marco Poloing a lot, whatever communications coming my way. But yeah, I actually quietly pride myself on being efficient.
Do you feel like you've learned to delegate?
Yeah. And actually it's probably been more in the last 5 to 6 years.
Because that's hard. Like as an entrepreneur, delegating is huge because it is like you could do anything and everything all the time. Like I wish there was 7 of me, right? And you're a gift to the world. Like the world needs you. It deserves you. You know that. But you're still one human, right? So it's like giving your gift and teaching and delegating all of that. I mean, in and of itself, like that's a process, right? Yeah. But I think that's something that's huge. And you're, also leaving a legacy for your kids and,
I hope so.
Teaching them that it's more than just work and you've learned from your regrets. But I think that's a huge thing because, regret is kind of it's a made up word. You could definitely, you could have regrets, but if you don't have regrets, then how are we ever learning, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Regrets should be really temporary, Take a moment if you need them, come to peace with it, right? But at the end of the day, it also doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What you did yesterday really doesn't matter all that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the way you treat people in the present is where you leave that legacy. It's where you leave that lasting impression is always in the present. And so, the whole thing, right? Like if you dwell in the past, you're depressed. If you're dwelling in the future, you're anxious. Yeah. So just get to present the best that you can. I really do believe that 100%. And when you're in a meeting and someone's on their phone the whole fudging time and you're just kind of like, why am I even here?
Oh yeah. I take it away from them. I don't care who you are. You like, I'm going to take your phone away. Sorry.
Yeah. If you're not mature enough to put that thing away, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Only people that I might offend you, but you might like me for it later.
They generally do.
Sometimes we have to put ourselves in timeout.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I need to take a break. I need to learn how to have some sort of discipline with my own phone. And I think sometimes those are the people that I love the most are the people who call me out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are good friends.
My friends are the ones that will tease me.
Yeah.
And have the balls to tease me. Mm-hmm. And I actually love being teased. I really do. Because I tease relentlessly. And so, but I've learned to tease. I actually was talking about this the other day. I will not tease someone until I think that I understand who they are. And the reason why is because if I understand who they are, I can tease them and it comes across as friendship/love, right? If I don't know someone and I tease them, it comes across as bullying and mean.
I think that's smart.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you've always done that.
Yeah, I really have actually.
Good.
Yeah, I never went through a bully stage. I was actually bullied myself. So when I was in elementary school, because we went to 6th grade, when I was in 1st and 2nd, I got beat up a few times by different guys.
Were you always tall?
No, not back then.
Really?
Well, a first grader compared to a 6-year-old or a sixth grader doesn't matter.
Oh, I see
You know
what
what I
you
mean?
mean.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then when I got in junior high, I got picked on. I got beat up by 3 guys one time, and so I just never did that.
That's good.
I never picked on anyone, or actually, it's kind of funny. I had a lot more empathy when I was a teenager. Then I went on my mission, and I actually lost all of it because you just hassled every day, right? So then you kind of get to
You're
say,
like a door knocker. Like you have to like have a little bit of like a shield, like some resilience.
yeah, like real thick skin. Like it doesn't matter what people say, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a butterfly thing, right? It's you go in your cocoon and you learn to take some shit, and then you kind of move on, right?
Yeah.
And then I came home, and I actually didn't have that much empathy for people because I'm like, you're stupid. It's self-inflicted, you know. And then like once I got married, you know, which was not too long after I got home, within 2 years, right? I started going like, I like being empathetic more. Like why am I mad at people? Like, yeah, I know they shot themselves in the face, but I'd rather help them clean up than, you know, point and, you know, laugh at them kind of thing. And then I just kind of realized like I have so much stress and so much crazy stuff that can happen in my life. I'd rather just laugh at stuff. Because if you're either laughing or you want to blow your brains out.
Well, having fun is part of being like the creative entrepreneur, right? Yeah. Like you have to have fun.
Yeah.
Because if you're not having fun, then what's it worth, right? And sometimes I think we take life too seriously. Like I think loss is a huge teacher, right? Like learning loss in all areas of life. But that's an opportunity for us to really reflect on like, oh my goodness, what's really important? And does this really matter? And if what they said doesn't matter in 5 years, then it shouldn't matter now. And teaching my kids to not take things personal, right? That's a hard lesson.
Yeah.
That is a hard lesson to not take things personal. And I think it's smart for, you to not tease people before you get to know them. Because, I mean, I was teased my whole life too. I mean, I was the baby of the family. Yeah. Like, that's usually when people love you, is when you're being teased. So
it is, right? Because, and I also kind of tease. I didn't realize it was as much of an art as I'm making it sound, right? But like, I tease to connect.
Yes.
Like I'm trying to like, if you were a bird, if you're a fly on the wall with like me, McHenry, Nick Howland, Matt Brave, right? Like, it's like all we do is tease, right? Like if you come to our men's group thing, it's like, dude, like some people think it's like almost like we're being mean to each other. And like the second someone like stops you, like, wait, what?
You're like, we're the Sandlot.
I love this guy. He's one of my best friends. They're like, oh. But it's like a kind of a man thing, right? To just like relentlessly tease each other. But like,
I mean, I don't know that, but I could see it.
I'll put one out there. So I have a lot of people kind of deal with depression, right? And I have a friend who's dealing with a little bit of it right now. And on, was it Awareness Day? I can't remember. It was a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of did a little video, right, where he put the sign up that says it's okay not to be okay. And it was actually a lovely video, and I think it connected with a couple of people, right? And I wanted to freaking put a message on there so bad and just be like, damn it, Matt, you're fine, right? Just to be funny, right? And so when I saw him a couple of days later, it was like the first thing I said out of my mouth, right? I'm like, oh, that little video was cute, and it's like we just start teasing each other, right? But in the conversation of it, right, I literally said to him, I'm like, it's actually really cool, man. I'll probably help somebody, or see someone that respects you, and they see like, oh, Matt deals with some stuff too. Like, oh, cool. And I kind of feel connected or seen by him at least, right? And then you got, my friend Josh wants to tease him too, right? So but then his actual friends are like, hey, just like messing with him all the time. But it's such a connector, I guess. You know? If you do it with love and kindness. Yeah. I
agree. I think like certain people connect differently, right?
Yeah.
And I think connection, you learn how people connect.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I think it depends on what friend and who it is and what it looks like. And I mean, my friends, we laugh and we're quirky. And I mean, I grew up with my siblings being silly and cute and funny. And I do think we have to be lighthearted.
Absolutely.
Right. Like it can't just be all business and serious all the time. And I really love that you have the ability to just connect with people. Yeah. I mean, that's what you get to do all day, every day.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
You actually said something that reminded me of something. One of my friends, we were at one of the men's group thing, right? And I'm like this. I'm just like in a t-shirt chilling, like blah, 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 blah. And my buddy goes, dude, I just can't picture you like, you're like this at work?
This is how you are?
You think I'm like this at work? Like, you freaking stupid? Like, no, I'm not like this at work. Yeah, people work for me there. You guys are my friends. Like, a massive difference. And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, come on, man, time and place, But like, yeah, it's such a funny thing. It's just like, it's actually part of seeking to understand people. And I learned that through, do you remember the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? That's where I learned that.
Yeah.
And that one principle has served me so well through my whole life. When I'm negotiating things, seek to understand what they want.
Yeah. Stay curious.
Yeah. Well, if you know
Yeah.
what the other side wants in a negotiation, which is not clear most of the time.
Right.
And a lot of the time it's totally outside of it, right? You might be negotiating over a real estate deal and all that dude wants is $2,000 a month in a management fee.
Mm-hmm.
So bake it in.
Right.
But if you don't seek to understand that person first, you won't never know that. You just think you're trying to negotiate the best price on this thing.
Yeah. Get to know who you're working with.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that comes again with being an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody has that gift.
No.
Not everybody has that gift to like seek to understand, stay curious, stay open, give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Like those are all really good qualities that make you successful in regards to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I think building connection is huge. I mean, huge. And you don't have to be like an extrovert or have all these friends in order to build connection. And I think where that comes from is yourself, right? Like that self-reflection and connection and knowing who you are and what you stand for, you're going to build great connections in life.
And that's what makes you happy.
Yes. And that's what builds memories. And that's what leaves a legacy and forgiving and letting go and surrendering to what no longer serves you. And yeah, those are all highly effective habits of successful people.
I love that. Actually, now that I'm saying that, I'm like, I don't even know the other 6 right now, but I'll go back and look at it. I need a refresher.
Yes. Or the 4 Agreements. I love the 4 Agreements. Have you read that
What's
one?
What's that? No.
I have my kids read that one because it's a little bit simple.
Yeah.
But it's like being impeccable with your word, not taking anything personal, being on time, doing your best. And let's see, I think I missed one, but it's a really good book.
Oh, that's cool. No, I would love to get that. I'm actually at the stage where I need to start having my kids read self-help books, but I really want to tailor them to them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not just going to throw them Atomic Habits because I think Atomic Habits is too much for them.
Or even doing like personality tests. Like I love the 4 Tendencies.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a great one. And I think that's kind of fun. Like even my daughter was like, Mom, have you done like the 16 personality test?
Yeah.
You know, this is what I am. And so I think they're teaching that more in school too, which I think is great.
Oh, cool.
Because I do believe that we're on this path of we're going to see more and more people being entrepreneurs and, you know, thinking outside of the box. And
it is easier than ever to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So. Especially with social media.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, social media is just kind of King Kong.
Absolutely. And if people know, because we set a TikTok shop up for you guys, right? Are we working on it?
I hope so.
Okay, we need to get that going.
I am terrible at social media. So
TikTok shop is super powerful. Super, super powerful. So real quick, and then we'll wrap up. The difference with TikTok shop is like on Instagram, if you hire someone to do a video for you or promote your stuff and all that kind of stuff, right? You're hiring them. In TikTok shop, you put your shop up. And then influencers, based on how much you'll give them on, you know, commissions, will take your product line and just add it to them.
Oh, wow.
So you don't actually have to do anything.
Yeah.
You could have 100 people in 2 days promoting your stuff all over TikTok. And obviously it's product dependent because if you have a good product, the more people want to do it and then the more people will buy it. You know, the normal business principles, you know, are there. But the power in that where it's like you and me, right? Say we just had no idea about TikTok. And it's like, hey, let's start a co-ed TikTok account and let's go sell some shiz. We'll do some funny videos to grow our thing and then we'll start selling stuff. Like that's actually a business model that people can follow and you don't need anything but a phone to do it.
Interesting.
Which is super powerful.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you really have a good product or you're selling something that you're really passionate about and it works, then that's going to translate too.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I am excited. And I'm excited to see where Naked Pineapple goes too, because the opportunities are endless, right?
Yeah.
And there's lots of fun things that we can do with it.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, my very last thing I ask every guest, what's your best advice?
My best advice would be to stay consistent. Remember who you are. Because, I mean, we're born with an innate gift to give back to the world. But in order to do that, we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. It was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was so fun.
Thanks for listening to the President McCormack Podcast, brought to you by McCormack Foundation, Saxton Fund, ADP Lemco, and Professional Floor Systems. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and keep up with Mark on Instagram at President McCormack.